All right, hello everyone, and welcome to our first episode of our Creative University video series. My name is Lauren Devins, and I am the Digital Marketing and Social Media Coordinator here at Creative MMS in Philadelphia. And I'm here today with the wonderful Jennifer Greenjack, who is the Director of Marketing here at Creative as well. And we're here to talk today about strategic marketing plans. So Jennifer, I'll kick it over to you.
Great. Nice to meet everybody. As Lauren mentioned, I'm the Director of Marketing here at Creative MS. And yeah, so why don't we get the interview started? Go for it. What do you have to ask me, Lauren?
Yes, I have many burning questions for you, but let's just start with what information does a strategic marketing plan include?
I think before I talk about what it includes, I want to talk more about why it's important. It's not unusual for companies that come to us to have kind of a fly by the seat of their pants marketing strategy. And in fact, many of them don't even have a designated budget for marketing. Quite often, any marketing that is done tends to be more reactive rather than proactive. We react to what's maybe happening in the industry, maybe what our competitors are doing, and things of that nature. That's why when the going gets tough or maybe the future's uncertain, it's my belief that marketing tends to get cut as it seems like it's more of a nicety rather than a necessity. But by creating a strategic marketing plan and defining a budget, which by the way, should be about 10% of the overall annual revenue of a company, this will outline your goals, your objectives, as well as any next steps to help you achieve those objectives over the course of a time period, which typically could be about a year. Keep in mind that everything in your marketing plan must tie back to your overall goals. If it doesn't tie back to a goal, then you either need to rethink the goal or rethink the plan. But if you start by aligning on the overall company's goals and then creating marketing goals based on those company's goals, you're going to always be on the right path to help the overall company's strategy. Think of things like percentage of ROI, what comes from marketing, number of conversions that you need to make a sale, website visits, how many people need to find you to be aware of you in the first place to get, the conversations going. Those are some things that you might want to think about. And coming up with your marketing objectives should be based on a few data and research points. If you only have time to focus on one specific piece and that's it, because it can be time consuming, to help to create a marketing plan, make sure you understand your audience. We have a saying here that market for everyone or market for no one, it's the same thing. So without knowing who your customer is, what motivates them, what their pain points are, what they're responsible for, and so much more, it could vary by industry and by company, you may be wasting your time, you may be wasting your team's time, and you may be wasting your budget. You need marketing to take place when and where your audience is and where they'll find you. And what you say will be the main factor in what drives them to take action, be it a purchase, a demo, whatever you need. So talk to your fellow employees, especially sales, and maybe anybody that works in customer support. Maybe even talk to customers directly if you can, those that are loyal and willing to give you some insider information, but dig deep into the questions to help define that important role of your audience. If you have a little more time, maybe check out your competition, not only who you think is your competitors, but who the search engines believe your competitors are. There's a bunch of tools out there like SEMrush, SpyFu, and so forth that you can use. But if you don't have access to these tools, you can also very easily just start Googling your services or maybe the products that you offer and see who comes up at the same time, because those are going to be who your audiences are going to see if they're searching for those products or services. Once you know who you're competing against, look at their marketing tactics. Are they crushing it on social? Do they rely a lot on paid ads to get to the top of page one on Google? Or heck, are they even still stuck in print and you see a huge billboard when you're driving on your way to work? Whatever it is, just jot it down and keep it as food for thought, something to think about in the future. But also keep in mind that you don't necessarily have to actually do it. If you feel that it's not right for your brand, or more importantly, it's not right for your target audience, which by the way, as I mentioned above, it's already, something we've already talked about. So, you want to focus on both your brand and your audience in this case. If you still want to dig a little deeper, take what you know about your company and what you now know maybe about your competition and your audience and the industry and conduct a full SWOT analysis. Pull your team together, be it marketing, sales, the C-suite team, the directors, the managers, whoever you think will add value, and have them start identifying your internal strengths and weaknesses. You may find that one may come easier than the other. You might find that you're getting a lot of strengths and maybe not a lot of weaknesses, or vice versa, because that's the way people will just operate. But continue to dig deeper and understand what each one of those are. Once you've got your strengths and weakness internally, go to your external threats and opportunities. People in these different roles that you have pulled in, we'll call it different things, but all of them are going to be really important, and you'd be amazed at what you're going to find out. At the end of it all, maybe try to pinpoint where you stand in the industry and against the competition. But most importantly, look at the things that you can capitalize on and where you're falling short, and be sure to include those in the objectives and insights as part of your marketing plan.
That's a great answer. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm thinking, competitors and the landscape will change over time. So I'm just wondering how often businesses should revamp and take a look at their strategic marketing plans.
All right, well, let's say you have a plan already, or you're going to plan in one, you're going to plan it one day down in the future. Just because you've created an annual marketing plan does not mean it's set in stone. Things are going to happen and you're going to need to pivot. For example, maybe there's a new competitor that comes into the industry, or they're starting to offer something similar to what you offer. Or your company decides to launch a new product or service sometime in the middle of the year that wasn't anticipated when you started your marketing plan. And of course, let's not forget the wonderful pandemic that we just went through. Everything, companies had planned for 2020 when they started in January went completely out the window in April. So, you've really got to make the tweaks as needed. I personally would recommend revisiting your marketing plan on a quarterly basis. If you need to do it more than that because of things that are changing, again, external forces, again, if you want to call them threats and or opportunities, then you want to go back in and you want to make sure that you address them.
Perfect. That makes a lot of sense. So who should be involved when you're creating these strategic marketing plans on the team?
It depends on the company and perhaps the size of the marketing team. If you've got a larger marketing team and it's pretty diverse, then that might be a great place to start drafting the plan with just the marketing team. Don't try to have too many cooks in the kitchen right from the get-go. However, I would recommend talking to a lot of people before you actually starting putting pen to paper or fingers to a keyboard. You want to ask questions, you want to get feedback, you want to understand everything that they do, and problems or questions or issues or concerns that they hear when they talk to customers or prospects or leads. You may also want to include the C-suite, the directors, the managers, as I've already mentioned. And I'm sure you'll need to get approval from someone at some point in time on the budget. So you're going to make sure that you want to include them as well. But do your homework, connect with others, get their feedback. And the most important thing is make sure that by the time you are done with this marketing plan, that it's aligned on everything, which seems really easy, doesn't it?
It sure does. But I know that there are some tools out there that can help make creating these strategic marketing plans a little bit easier. I know you mentioned SEMrush before, but are there any other tools that we can use to build out strategic marketing plans?
There are a lot of tools out there. I mean, if you have a hub, like a marketing platform like HubSpot, great opportunity to kind of start making sure your CRM is in order, making sure you're starting to track things properly. At Creative, we've built out a template that is very helpful, and we actually used as the basis of our strategic marketing plans, but we've done it in a way that will allow others to use it. You can download it free at gocreativemms.com/template. And if you want help filling it out, or, as I know, it can be a bit much and it could be a little bit daunting, and I wish you all the best and happy strategizing.